today's live webinar. You should all be looking at our YouTube channel. So this is going to be live streamed on YouTube. And if you're watching this today, we are going to touch on everything serving. We're going to talk about pre-serve routine. We're going to talk about float serves, jump float serves, and jump spike serves or topspin serves. Okay. And my goal for all of you is to try to give you the basic tips that you need, how you should think about serving, how you should think about technique and how to build that. I'm going to give you a few drills that are really going to, well, open up your serve, open up your power, open up your consistency. So we're going to do a rundown of pre-testing and how to stat your serves. We are also going to discuss the drills that will help you get there, any exercises and stretches, and basically just all of my recommendations that will really help start lighting you up from the service line. So I hope you enjoy this video. We are going to run through it real quick. Okay. If you don't know me, if this is your first time to the channel, if this is your first time seeing me or Better at Beach, my name is Mark Burik. I played Division I volleyball at the George Mason University, not the George Mason University, just George Mason University. I also played professionally indoor overseas, so I've got a big indoor background, and then I made the transition to beach volleyball full time. When I did that, I started hunting down coaches, hunting down techniques, and over time, being that I love coaching, I created Better at Beach with the help of my partner, Brandon Joyner. So that's why you are here. That's how you are here. I played on the AVP for 10-ish years. I had a few seasons traveling and playing on the FIVB tour, and I got to go to the Pan Am Games in some year in the past. And we didn't do too well in the Pan Am Games, but it was a hell of a trip and got to represent the USA. So that is where we are and what we're doing, and that's who I am. I absolutely love coaching, and my goal is to help you get better. We have a number of online programs and ways for you to do that. We can analyze your video with technique, strategy, and gameplay. So if you want to sign up for a film session, you'd head to betteratbeach.com/film session. If you want access to all of our courses and our program where we do form check videos, that means that you work your way through all of our beach volleyball courses and workout programs, and then you can submit your videos to our community, and we will go in there and look at your videos and give you whatever next steps you need for those videos. And we also have practice plans, drill design, everything that you need to succeed in beach volleyball, either as a player or a coach. We've got you. I'll introduce that at the end of this video. But for now, for the time being, I really want to just get started on helping your serve. So I hope you're here. I hope you're watching. Hope you're attentive. And that is it. Okay. So let's get started on this webinar. All right. Number one, we want to talk about pre-testing and stats. Okay. So for pre-testing and stats, there's a harder way and an easier way to take stats. Okay. I'm going to go through the harder way first. Okay. When you're taking stats for serving, essentially you want to measure how the other team is receiving your serves. That's the most important part. Okay. There's a basic way to do this where you don't need anybody on the other side of the court. You don't need a partner. You just need a stack of balls and a beach or indoor court. But let's go through the hard way first. Okay. When we're taking stats as a server, essentially you're going to measure out the passes, just like we said. So when you're in game, you should be videoing every time you play a competitive match, whether it's a practice match, a league match, or a tournament match. you should start finding a way to know exactly how well you're serving. And we're going to do that by deeming the results of the passers. Okay. So this is, like I said, this is the in-depth way to measure the effectiveness of your serving. So every time you serve, you're going to give a score to that serve. Now, if you miss a serve, I'd like you to write this down if you can, but if you miss your serve, you're going to mark it as a 4. Okay. We're going to go to 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay. If you miss your serve, that's going to be a 4. That's the highest thing, the highest and best thing that a passer can do. Okay. If the passer passes perfect, okay, so if you serve against somebody and they pass perfect, now a perfect pass, here's how we're going to judge it. And it does get a little judgy, there's some subjectivity to it. But if they pass perfect, which means that their setter has the option to spike, hand set, or bump set. Okay, if they have the option to spike, hand set, or bump set, what we are going to do is we're going to mark that as a 3. A 3 is going to be a perfect pass from the passer. Now, if they have the option to spike, hand set, or bump set, they should be really comfortable. The pass should be in the front 10 feet of the court, and that pass should probably land somewhere between where the passer was passing from and where the setter was standing, where they were positioned right on the pass contact. Okay. We don't want to pass directly in front of us. That's something that a lot of coaches and players get wrong. Passing directly in front of you is not going to give the hitter a good option to attack, and they're going to have to travel a further distance, which means they're going to have to be rushed. Okay. The pass should end up between you. We train our passers to try to pass at a 30-degree angle off of their inside leg. So if you imagine a clock, that's going to be, if you're on the left side of the court, that's going to be to your 1 o'clock angle. Okay, so you're always going to pass at a 1 o'clock angle or a 30-degree angle off of your inside shoulder, your inside leg. Or if you're a right side, then that would represent like 11 o'clock, if 12 o'clock is always straight in front of you. Okay, so the front 10 feet of the court, and high enough so that your partner has the option to take a nice approach and jump and attack, or hand set, or bump set. That's going to be a perfect pass. So if you're measuring your own passing at home, that's also how you're going to get your passer rating. But we're talking about our opponents. So every time we serve, if they pass perfect, then we are going to give that serve a 3. Okay. If the passer passes okay, but not perfect, an okay pass is what we're talking about when the setter is pretty comfortable getting to the ball. They might still be in motion, but they're not able to relax, make the choice to hand set or to bump set, and they don't have an attack option. Okay. We are seeing the increased amount of on-two attacks. The on-two offense can be really effective. So we need to build up to that level as passers, and we need to prevent that as servers. Okay. So a 2, if a pass is scored a 2, that would be a good pass, but not perfect. So that might be the pass that's like straight in front of you where the setter doesn't have the option to attack. It would be something that's maybe beyond or lands beyond 10 feet from the net. So like 13 feet, 15 feet from the net. It's not perfect because as a passer, you can't look straight in front of you and in the same visual field. You don't have a look of the setter, the set, and the defense in one picture. So if as a passer, you have to look sideways for your set and then the defense is in front of you, that's not perfect. You're not going to side out as well as you possibly can. Okay, so a good pass and okay pass is 2. And if the passer passes bad, the setter can still get there, but really they're kind of out of control. They're in sprint, they're diving. They can still make some sort of set that you can then maybe bump, maybe spike over the net. That's going to be a 1. Okay. If you get an ace or if you force an overpass, then you're going to mark that as a 0. So when you're scoring your serves, the lower your server rating is, the better it is for you. Okay. The higher it is, so if you miss serves and if they keep passing perfect, so you see a lot of fours and threes on your score, the higher your serving score is, the worse it is for you. Okay. And that's just going to be on a 4-point scale. Okay. You can do the reverse for passing. So when you're a passer, if they miss a serve, we can't rate that as a positive for ourselves. So the fours get excluded. But when you're passing and you're measuring that out, if you want to measure it the good way, a 3 is a perfect pass, a 2 is an okay pass, a 1 is not so great pass at all, but you can survive the point, and a 0 is when you overpass or you get aced. Okay, that's a good way to measure your stats as a passer. And today we're talking about serving, so you have those statistics in a way that you can measure. Again, I've got to encourage you guys, make sure you are filming everything you do. That way you can always go back and you can measure these stats, and then you actually know when you're improving. So all the guys in my online programs, from my one-on-one players to just our basic members, they get these tools and they get these spreadsheets from our courses where you can actually lock it in and you have a place to write them. And then we also give you the full set of drills, exercises, and tutorial videos. Today is going to be more of a sprint through everything serving. So I'm going to do the best that I can in 1 hour to give you great ideas and a great thought process for increasing the level of your servability. Okay. Now, the next very easy drill that we can do. Okay, this is a different way to measure the effectiveness of your serving. And we are just going to show you a video right here. This comes from our serving course. Okay, so I'm going to share this video. And this is a really easy at-home thing that you can do. Okay? And I'm hoping that the sound works. We're going to show it right here. All right.
As you can see here, we've divided the court into eighths. And you do this by laying out some simple ropes. If you have players of different abilities on the same court, an elite player has to serve all 8 spots. A novice player or a beginner has to serve 4 spots on the court. But every spot has to be designated and every shot has to be called.
Okay, so pretty easy, pretty basic drill, right? But this is something that you can do at home. Like I said, elite players, you want to divide that into eighths, and beginners, intermediate players, you want to start with just dividing the court into quarters. Okay, and you want to see how many serves it takes you. And that's right now we're just talking about basic float serves and jump float serves, but you can definitely level this up to having that same amount of accuracy with your jump spike serves. Okay. But that's a really easy way to know exactly where you are. If you're going for 4 spots, you want to get around the world twice and see how many serves it takes you to get around the world. Like I said in the video, you have to call every shot. So if you accidentally hit another quadrant, you can't count that as a success. You have to aim for the spot that you're going for, and then that is your hit or miss. And all you're going to do over time is see how long it takes you to actually get around the world twice. If you're a beginner or intermediate, you're going to use fourths. So divide the court in fourths. If you're an advanced player, then you're going to divide the court in eighths. And again, you've got to get around the world twice, aiming at each spot, calling each spot, and then you don't move on to the next spot until you have hit the one you are going for. And then see how many serve attempts it takes you to get around the world twice. If you write that down, you just measure it one day, write it down, and you say, this is the date, this is how many times it took me to get around the world twice. Right? Then you go back. If you want, you can work on your serving on your own. If you want us to help you, then you can join one of our online programs or our video analysis sessions. And that's when we would measure these things with you, upgrade you, give you a step-by-step plan for how to do that. But if you're doing this on your own, measuring that out, statting how long it takes you to get on this date, and then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from then, if you've worked on your serving, then you just run through that test again. And that should take maybe 5 minutes, maybe 20, depending on the level of serving that you're at. Okay. So easy way to stat your serves and know where you are. One of them can be competitive based on the serve receiver and how well they're passing. Okay. And then the other one, which would be more of an out of game or a practice drill, is that around the world serving. So I hope that helps, and I hope that's a good start. But we are going to talk about some important physicality stuff, okay? Important stretches and things for you to do. So before you start really your serving journey, you would like to do a number of assessments, physical assessments, to see what's happening with your upper body mobility. Okay. One of the easiest ones that you can do is sitting against a wall with a flat back so that your legs are straight on the floor, and then making sure that just about every part of your back is actually in contact with the wall, including the back of your head. And then taking your hands, you could do with your palms facing the wall or your thumbs, and see if you can get your hands straight against the wall. Now, some people can do this really easily. Okay, you've got great overhead mobility. Some people, this is a struggle for. Okay. Another one is keeping your hands at 90 degrees here so that your forearms, elbows, and hands stay against the wall. And then in a diamond shape, trying to keep them against the wall the entire time. If your elbows start peeling away when you do this, it means that we're probably tight in our pecs. And then you would add a lot of chest stretches to your programming. Okay. We have a 21-day mobility program in our course that will really help with this. If you can't get your hands and arms flat against the wall over your head, or your elbows peel away from the wall when you're doing that sitting straight-legged diamond stretch, we know that you've got some tightness. Some of it generates from your lats. Some of it might be triceps, which is usually a little bit rare. And some of it might be pec tightness. Okay. All of those things, being able to open them up over time and have that range of motion, will increase the level of your serves, will decrease your instances of shoulder pain and shoulder injuries. And again, just a general power increase that comes from greater mobility and range of motion. Okay. In our serving course, we introduce some important exercises, but we also have that 21-day mobility program that really opens up your range. We also have a fix your arm swing in 21 days program that is really, really focused on a lot of exercises that you can do with weights, with medicine balls, and in the gym, so that you can open up your overhead power. Now, if you've been a throwing athlete your whole life or an overhead athlete your whole life, in general, you probably might not need this. A lot of that is built in, but the arm swing mechanics. Some people have been throwing and doing arm swing sports for most of their life, but their mechanics are off. So if you feel like you're not getting the power that you should, if you feel like you randomly get a sore shoulder or you've got pain in your shoulder, it probably has to do with your mobility and your mechanics. And we can fix that. We do that in the 21-day Fix Your Arm Swing program. We're going to link that below, but if you just you want the link, just head to betteratbeach.com/virtual training. And all of the courses are included in that pro membership. So you can really dive in to that. Okay. I want to move on to giving you our our mental routine, our serve receive routine. Now, I'm going to give you an episode to watch on YouTube. We're going to include it in the links below. Okay. But I'm telling you right now, I've had this reminder to have a serve receive routine, but this podcast and this YouTube video that I'm going to share with you, if you go through all of these processes before you serve, so if you truly go through this routine, it will increase your accuracy. It will increase your consistency. It's a full episode with Christoph Dressler, who is one of the top players in the world, and he is getting a degree in sports psychology, a PhD actually. And so he took me through this in one of our podcast episodes. And that reminder to go through a very specific mental sequence before every serve, just from my play matches, I'm not competing professionally anymore, but just from my play matches with my coaches at the camps and with my buddies here in the South Bay, my serving level it skyrocketed. The level of accuracy that I was able to implement, and aiming and then studying the trajectory and the exact pinpointed place of where I want the ball to land. Man, this one episode, just doing the interview and having that reminder of having a mental sequence, that was huge for me. So I'm going to include this link below. Okay. If you want to search it, if you're just listening in the background, just search for Better at Beach, Master Serve Routine in 4 Simple Steps. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to include that link in the chat right under. Oops, sorry, it's playing in the background. Okay, so I'm going to throw this into the chat. I'm hoping that it feeds to wherever we're streaming, but that's there. And the title of it, again, is called Master Your Serve Routine in 4 Simple Steps. Okay, I'm going to give you just a precursor video to that comes from our course, but that episode is also edited and added to our course. So give me a second to dive in to our serving routine video. That's going to be right here. I'm just going to share it and we can watch it together. Okay. Develop a pre-serve routine. All right. So let's share this video and you guys will be able to have a look at a very introductory version of it. Again, I'm hoping that the sound is working.
Before you serve, you should have a serving routine. Most of the time when I'm talking about this, I refer to a basketball player shooting free throws. Normally, if you watch a player like Steph Curry or LeBron James or whoever your favorite basketball player is, they have the same routine every single time they shoot a free throw. Whether it's bounce 3 times, a spin on the hand, maybe going behind the back, and then finding that zone, and then completing that free throw. This allows them to get into the moment. It allows them to feel a repetitive action, which makes us feel comfortable. When we are serving, we want to get into a same kind of mindset. And finding this routine for you is very, very important. I know for me, whenever I'm jump serving, I tend to smack the ball and spin 3 times before I toss the ball. This allows for me to get into a mindset that will allow me to hit the best serve possible. It also reminds me of things that I need to be doing throughout my serve. So all of the keys that we've given you with the standing float serve, with the jump float serve, and with that jump spin serve, this is a time for you to take a second and remember what those routines are or those keys so that you can perform that skill at the highest level possible. Having a routine is one of the most important things for your serve. It is going to make your serve as consistent as it can be. One of the big problems that we see when we are coaching is that players run up to the line, they grab a ball, and they serve as quick as they possibly can. This shows me a couple things. One, they're not interested in setting up the serve to complete a serve that they are actually thinking about, which means that they do not have a mission when they have stepped up to the line. We've spoken about in this course how every single time that you get up to serve, you need to find your mission of that serve. Why are you doing it? This is your time to realize, okay, I'm going to serve this person, or I'm going to serve this area of the court because of this. Use this time for your routine to put yourself in that mindset so that when you actually commit the act of serving, you have already thought out all of the options of what could happen.
Okay, that's a really good summary. But from that podcast that I was talking about, I want to go through really 4 bite-sized, simple ways that you can do it. And I'm going to summarize it, but I really want you guys to watch that other YouTube video or check out our serve routine podcast. You can check it out on YouTube or you can check it out on the podcast, but it's called Master Your Serve Routine in 4 Simple Steps. And here's a summary. Okay. Number 1, you should pick a point. Okay. Pick a point on that court that you are going to hit. Now, put something imaginary there. For me, I don't know why, but I use a blue bottle, like a logoless Bud Light bottle, and I just put it on the court mentally, and I serve to that exact spot, right? I don't see a body. I don't see a big zone. I serve a very small space, and it's the size of a bottle, and I put that there in my mind. Okay. Number 2, I imagine the trajectory that I want to get it there. So I actually visualize the arc or lack of arc that the ball travels to get it there. Some keys that I like to use, if I'm using a fast and flat serve, okay, I would put an imaginary glass plane 12, let's call it 18 inches above the top of the net. And my job is to visualize breaking that glass plane on the way to that small spot. Okay, so I use that glass plane a lot. And if I'm going for a fast, flat serve, then I want to visualize shattering that glass plate. Okay, there's also something called a dead ball serve, which we might or might not touch on in this meeting. But a dead ball serve acts like a changeup in baseball, where you use the exact same trajectory, but instead of breaking the glass plane, if I want the ball to fall in front of that server's feet, get them to lean forward and probably give myself an overpass, then I'm going to hit that glass plane, but I'm not going to break it. It's a very delicate glass plane, so I'm going to hit it, but I want to make sure that it actually doesn't shatter in my mind. Okay. So that's how I'm visualizing the trajectory of my serve, and I've already got the spot locked in. The next thing you want to do is go outside of your body and visualize yourself hitting that serve. Okay, so a full visual of you actually completing that task. Okay. And then finally, I have a mantra or something that I go through physically. And I also use words internally, because one of the most important things that you want from the service line is not to be thinking about the score, not to be thinking about your defense, not to be thinking about how deep you are in the tournament. But in order to get your serve to that elite level, you have to have a process of something that you tell yourself, something that you're saying either out loud or in your head, and a physical process, a routine that you go through before each serve. So if you're one of those people that just kind of walk up to the line, say, what's the score? Okay, boom. And then you serve, you're not serving at a high level. Sorry, it's just true, but you're not serving at a high level. You have to go through your full routine. If it gets interrupted, if a seagull flies on the court or a ball, then you have to reset your routine, go through it again, go through the visualizations, and stop all of the dialogue that might be running through your head at that moment and lock into the serve. Okay. Then you just execute the serve. Okay. So you have to see the spot that you're going to hit. You have to visualize the trajectory that you're going to use. You have to see yourself hitting that serve. And then you have to have a physical and a mental mantra or routine of steps that you do every single time you serve. Okay. That alone is worth the cost of this free webinar. Right? Like if you can lock that in, I promise you that will get there. And if you want a lot more detail on that, just go to Master Your Serve Routine in 4 simple steps. You can Google Better at Beach, Master Your Serve Routine. And we have a podcast episode and a YouTube episode that is the same thing, however you want to listen to it. Okay. So that's what we're going to give you on routine. Now, the next thing that we want to go through is your float serve fundamentals. Okay. Float serve. I'm going to just show you this video that we have on YouTube, which is we have it on YouTube and we have it in our course. But this is going to go through the most common mistakes that you can make from a float serve perspective. Okay. And it should be right here. Where is it? I'm just going to share this screen again and give it to you. Ah, there it is. All right. I have found it. Okay. And sorry for the delay, guys. Okay. Most common float serves and most common float serve mistakes and how to make them. I'm going to pause this video in and out just so that we can have a little bit of dialogue. If you guys are here and you're in the live chat or you're on YouTube and you have questions, I want you to start populating them into the chat along the way so that I can answer them. Okay. But let's dive into these float serve mistakes so that we can kind of reverse engineer how to hit a good solid serve. Am I not sharing this? I'm so sorry, guys. I was not sharing this.
Kids and people who think they don't have the arm strength to get the ball over the net is we're going to say my favorite thing from Cal Stevenson, AVP Pro, right? We're going to say hamburger, no French fries. So you want the contact to be with the palm of your hand, okay? I even go as specific with some people to go with the heel of their palm, okay? This is where the power is going to come through. I don't want to go crazy, but if you needed to break somebody's nose, you wouldn't flick up with their fingers. You would jam a heel of your palm into it. So it's an automatically more powerful surface. Okay. So we'll give you 2 tips for this, and you guys can remember these at home. Hamburger, no French fries, or manicure hands. Imagine you just painted your nails and you can't touch anything with them. So you want to keep your nails as far away from that ball as possible and then strike with the palm, or if you want extra power, the heel. I promise you, if you've never gotten your overhand serve or you're working with somebody who really can't do it, once you get them to stiffen up their hands and use the right contact point, their power can sometimes double or triple. Let's check it out. Boom! Now you're too strong. Great.
Okay, so that first mistake that you guys saw, a lot of people end up hitting with the middle of their hand or they hit their fingers. I just want to be clear that on just about every single spike and every single serve, you do not want the ball to contact your fingers, okay? For float serves especially, since we're just using a strike, again, for low power people, people who have not gotten the ball over the net or they struggle with the overhand power, kids especially, if you can get them to strike with the heel of their hand, that's a really hard surface, which means that you're going to get more power easier. So that's the number one way we fix a lot of people who have never been able to get an overhand serve or just think they're not strong enough. A lot of times they're just using their fingers or the middle of their palm or the top of their hand, and you can get a really solid strike point if you use the heel of your palm. If you've got upper body strength and it's pretty easy to use, you can always use the middle of your palm. It's just going to have less power than the heel of your palm. Okay. Now you could say that like, well, maybe there's going to be an accuracy issue if I'm only using a small part, but in my experience, aiming small and missing small. So aiming for a very specific part on your hand or using that actually increases your level of accuracy. Okay. So I really like when I'm using, when I'm trying to get more power or speed on my float serve, using the heel of your palm. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next mistake here and then reverse engineer how to fix your float serves.
All right, let's fix it. So if you can see what she's doing right now, she's shot putting. So her hand is striking or coming through the zone before her elbow. Now, if we look at proper arm swing mechanics, and we've got some big time arm swing mechanics video on our YouTube channel. So make sure that you guys check out the playlist for arm swing mechanics and attacking. You'll get full power arm swing mechanics videos. But when we're looking at arm swing mechanics, basically, this is your big lever. So we rotate from not necessarily the hips, but from the core. So my hips would stay forward and my chest rotates around that. Then your chest comes through, then your elbow comes through, then your hand comes through. It's easy to say, but it's really difficult to segment that because if you feel like you're stiffening in positions, it doesn't happen. So we need to say it, but to help you better, I'm going to give you a quick tip, okay? I want you to keep your hand as loose as possible. And then when I say go, we're going to retreat and give a whippy high five, okay? So as fast as possible, we'll retreat and then have a really loose, sloppy high five. 1, 2, 3, go. Now that we've got your elbow coming through before your hand, it's going to act like a whip. Now, I am going to say this for float serves. That's still a really important key, but we're not looking for full power arm swing mechanics. Full power arm swing mechanics are when you totally rip open, you stand this way, and that's why a lot of coaches try to get you to stand sideways when you're serving. That doesn't make sense because our hips need to be forward and our abs need to rotate around it. All right, so we're not going to stand sideways and attempt to use our hips because that's not going to solve the whip problem, right? If you can visualize having a small towel and whipping it as fast as you can, that's the motion we're looking for. So it's going to elbow, hand, and not a big push. Some people don't have the upper body mobility to actually get their hand back. If that's a problem for you, you should sign up for our 21-day Fix Your Arm Swing course, which includes overhead mobility exercises, shoulder rehab programs, and we also have a full body mobility for volleyball program. We're going to link those below, but you're going to fix the serve right now. Whip. Ooh. Whippy. That's an ace. Cool. So obviously she's a pro. She made a super quick fix, right? But at home, you can also video this if you record yourself in slow motion from the side. Check out to see if your elbow is coming through the zone before your hand. For most people, we've got enough upper body strength to just stand without the full rotation. We just need a little bit of whip to add to it. When we add that to the solid contact point on the hand, most people have no problem getting the serve over the hand. But again, if you want to fix your arm swing and learn full our arm swing mechanics, as well as get a full rehab program for shoulders and exercises, and a 21-day mobility for volleyball program, check out the complete beach volleyball training blueprint. It is linked below. All right, let's fix it. Okay, this is a float serve. So we're not looking for full power. You want to contact high, but I would say at about 95% high, right? Sure, we can reach all the way up, but when you go to your limit, you go to your limit. So there's no room for calibration from there. Okay? A float serve should be small and accurate. So it should be like putting a ball on a tee when we're playing golf. This 12 to 18 inches from our hands to just the top of our hitting window, if you take a look at that, it's not a very high toss. So the ball might get a couple inches above my hand. So if I'm standing sideways and that's my contact point, that's about the max toss height that I would use for a float serve. So first thing from that video is make sure that you are calming down your serve toss. And if you could put a ceiling just maybe 6 inches above your hand, don't toss higher than that ceiling. Okay? Yeah. So let's make that first fix. Yeah. Nice. Great. We fixed one part of it. So now that the toss is smaller, you're going to be more accurate. Okay? That's the first step of what just happened. But you're trying to hammer this ball, and you're super strong. French people come strong. That's what I hear. So what we're going to do is you're not trying to go for full power, which means you don't need to rotate your body around. Instead, I want you to step and swing towards your target. If your hand finishes over here, okay, the ball is going to have most likely a this way trajectory. All right. But again, float serves are accurate. They're not for max power. So instead, if you saw somebody playing darts, again, I used to play a lot of darts. If you see somebody playing darts, they're not shooting at the board that they're aiming for and then letting their hand finish across their body or away. It's finishing exactly where they want the ball to go. So on this serve, I want you to try to step and finish your hand or even your fingertips pointing exactly where you want the ball to go when you're finished. Give it a shot. Money, honey. Awesome fix. Can I have a high five? I like high fives. Good. So if you're fixing this at home, one of the best ways, honestly, is to record from the back or the front. We're going to show you some of those views right now, and you'll see a couple of bad and you'll see a couple of good. But just like somebody is playing darts, since it's a float serve and it's not max velocity, we're just throwing easy darts to get it in the court and kind of fast sometimes. Okay? We're going to make sure that we're stepping and finishing straight to the target that we want to go to. Make that fix like she did.
Okay, so we're going to cut the mistakes video there. All right. But those are just some of the really most important objectives that you want to have, right? A float serve for most people is not a full power thing. For some people getting used to overhead sports, it is maybe a little bit more powerful. Okay. But finishing to your target, using a good heel of your palm strike, okay, and lowering and simplifying your toss so that you're not using your legs on your toss and you aren't throwing it too high. That's going to be a really easy, simple fix. And then if you combine that with just the target practice that we introduced at the beginning of this session, that's a good, easy way to practice the serve on your own. Okay. Now I want to move on just to the 4 different types of float serves, because there are 4 types of float serves, and really they're all about trajectory and how they cross the hitter. Okay. And these are serves that you want to in game experiment with to see the results of. So let's start by saying this. An ace is an absolute bonus that you get when you start experimenting with these different serve trajectories. Okay. You have to choose a victim. You have to decide who you're going to attack and why. Okay. Then we need to not just serve to see like the actual result, but to see what happened to the passer. Okay. If I can get them to take 2 or 3 steps just to pass the ball, that's a real victory. Most players are using this very generic vanilla serve where it crosses this person's chest and they don't actually have to take a single step to pass the ball. And I'm really going to encourage you guys to get out of that process It's not even a process. It's just kind of a blank mind and getting the ball over the net. If you aim for a very specific spot that is going to force somebody to move or pass outside their body where they're standing, then that's going to be your objective from the service line. And you can wreak havoc if you have a series of float serves. So I'm going to give you 4 different types. One of them is the fast flat ball. Okay. Like I said in the beginning, when we have that glass plane and we're trying to shatter it and we're getting the ball to get on this receiver fast, or excuse me, get outside the receiver fast. For some people, I'll leave a caveat there. For some people, if you do a body serve, just like you would in tennis, they really struggle with it. And some people struggle passing outside of their body. So your job in match over time is to keep track of what serves produced what results. And it's not just ace or overpass, right? But if you get a little bit of success on one type of serve, then you need to stick with that type of serve. Okay. Every serve is an experiment that you're trying to figure out what happens as a result of that serve. So number 1 is the fast flat serve, where we're shattering that glass and we're making the ball travel fast. There is a serious speed limit to this. Okay. But there's a speed and a height limit. Because some people think that they have served, when they serve out of bounds, that they serve too hard. But the next thing that we have to look at is how far above the net did that serve travel? Because if the ball crosses the net 3 feet above the top of the net and it lands out of bounds, I have 2 options where I can calibrate. One is I can lower the speed of that serve and serve the exact same trajectory where it travels and it crosses the net 3 feet above the net. But the other one is hitting at the exact same speed, but making sure it crosses somewhere like 1 to 18 inches above the net, right? Because then you could hit at the same speed, but it'll drop in the court sooner. So just because you're hitting out of bounds does not necessarily mean you're hitting too hard. It might also mean it's crossing the net too high. So one of them is that fast flat serve, okay? And this would generally land in the back half of the court, but it also crosses that person's passing sweet spot. So if you can serve hard enough and accurate enough and make them move, and this serve is working for you, great. But if it's crossing their sweet spot where they only have to take lateral steps or they pass from where they're standing, maybe they're going to eat it up. Your job is to know on fast flat serves, are they passing well? If I execute well, are they passing well? Okay. The next serve that we talked about a little bit was instead of using the heel of your palm, okay, there are a couple ways to take speed off and use the same trajectory. One of them is moving the contact point to higher on your hand. That will make the ball travel a few miles per hour slower. Okay, baseball players also do this when they're gripping a fastball. They grip the seams with their fingers. When they're throwing a changeup, they actually put the ball in their palm. Okay, so they have the exact same arm speed, so it's undetectable, but using the different strike point for a float serve, you actually change the miles per hour on that serve. Okay, you can also, 2 other ways to think about it, you can stop your hand sooner, right? Like if I follow through, if I punch something, like if I punch my hand and follow through, I'm going to do damage. But if I stop right at the edge of my hand, then it won't have as much power. So you could stop your hand sooner, or the most detectable way is slowing down your arm speed. And again, you would use the exact same trajectory, but the ball would fall sooner. And your goal with this, I call it a dead ball. Some people call it a changeup, right? We've got a fastball or a changeup. If we use that after doing the fast float serve a bunch of times, it changes how that person gets to the ball and how they're perceiving it. So that ball would probably fall just in front of their feet, but it would cross the net the exact same height as your fastball. Okay. And that leads to a lot of overpasses or people passing into the net. So it's a good 1-2 punch if you've hit a bunch of fast flats, if you hit a bunch of fastballs, and then you use the dead ball that falls 10 to 15 feet shorter in the court. That is a great combination that you can use to be lethal from the service line. Okay. The other 2 serves that I want to introduce are the high deep serves. This is what I talk about when I'm talking about a deep serve. it matters less where the ball lands, but more how it crosses the receiver. So if you can imagine that there's let's call it a 6-foot fence that's 3 feet from the back line, you want to hit it over that fence and then in the court. So this is going to be a rainbow shape of a serve or a really high serve. And some people might think that this is like easy. Oh, it's a slow moving ball. I've given them so much time. But if you force the receiver to tomahawk, if you force them to move backwards 2 or 3 steps, a lot of good things are going to happen. You're going to create a longer ball to set. You might disrupt their approach, and we'll talk about that. We talk a lot about that in our defensive course, which again, if you want to like really dive full into all of this, you can check out the links below or just go to betterbeach.com/virtual training. We have all of our courses, all of our tutorials, and we work through an entire season plan week by week. We give you every drill you should do every week, everything you should record every week, and then you post it to our community, and we go in there and we actually critique it. And the pro version also comes with one live Q&A video meeting every week. So that high deep serve, it feels like it's like sloppy or a joke, but it is an absolute weapon. If you can pump that person to the deep part of the court and make sure that they either tomahawk or they pass with 1 foot on or close to the back line, you're going to disrupt their hitting rhythm and you're going to create a longer, more difficult ball for the setter to set. So it's also a very good way to pick on a weak setter. If there is one setter that's really weak and you double the size of the ball that they have to set, or double the length of the ball that they have to set by serving to the high deep part of the court, you're going to make that setter even more nervous and more inaccurate. And the fourth type of serve is just the extreme short serve. Okay. Now on this one, we're trying to make sure that it lands in the front 10 feet of the court. Usually you have a slightward upward trajectory, so you're going to hit the bottom of the ball. You might do this by tossing just a little bit back towards your head instead of further out in front of you. Okay. And that's going to be a really steep short ball. Okay. If I told this to my members yesterday, if you can serve into the court 8 or 9 out of 10 times, your first mission in life should be, I need to now serve inside the 10-foot line 8, 9, or 10 out of 10 times. Okay. If you've mastered hitting the entire court, the next most lethal serve you can have is the short serve. I guarantee you this leads to a buttload of points. Okay. Most coaches, a lot of great coaches, say that the short serve is probably the most underrated skill in volleyball because it doesn't really get you a ton of aces. But what it does is it creates a lot of overpasses, passes into the net, or it forces the setter to have to hit, which is good because we force them to do something that they weren't really in control of. And the last part is most people do not have the discipline to receive a short ball, back up away from the net, get their full approach, and then come in for another full approach. Okay. So if you can cut out that person's approach angle or how they approach to the ball, you're actually controlling them from the service line. Okay. So I hope that helps. And I hope that's a really good, fast summary of float serves and the 4 different types. What I want to do now is just give you a little bit of jump float serving. Okay. So I want to check out a series that you can do if you're working on your jump float serves. Let's dive into that. And all I have prepared for that for this talk is a simple float serve progression. Okay. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it up on the backside here. So jump float serving, this is one way to do it, and you can do it in your garage gym like I show right here. Okay. So I'm going to show this video, and then I hope there are no questions, but this is a basic float serve progression that you can do anywhere, anytime, so long as you have a wall. All right.
I'm going to show you the two-step version of a jump float serve. So this involves having really soft knees and a lot of timing combined with your toss. So what you're going to do is step into your right step. And then as you're stepping into it, once that foot's on the ground, then you're going to toss the ball. It's going to be a really low toss, okay? From that low toss, your left foot is then going to hit, loaded of course, your knees are bent and your hips are down, and then you're going to jump and catch the ball. So check out and see what it looks like. Okay. My weight should be on my left foot already. And I'm going to step, toss, left, jump, hit. Okay. We're going to try it again. Step, toss, left, jump, hit. Step, toss, left, jump, hit. It's important that you're down, you're crouched, your knees are down, and your hips are down here. Step, toss, left, jump, hit. So you're getting a lot of that explosive power from your left, and your right leg is already loaded. You can practice this against a wall, just like this. Step, toss, left, and trap. Okay? I know you can't see that the ball that I'm trapping at there, but I'm trapping the ball at the top of my jump. We're not looking for arm lift. There's no arm lift in this jump float serve. Check it out again.
I really want to emphasize that because one of our members online was actually doing that for a jump float serve. There's no double arm lift. So your hands are going to stay high after the toss, almost like you've got like a barbed wire chain wrapped around your chest, but there's no double arm lift for a jump float serve. It is more of a hop. It's not a max jump. And the goal of a jump float serve is to try to be able to hit the ball flatter. So if you're, let's say you're like 5'2", okay? Like you're really short. I don't think that jumping and adding the technical complication to your standing float serve is going to pay many dividends, unless you're 5'2" and you've got like a 30-inch vertical, okay? If you're able to get 18, 24 inches out of a medium effort jump, then this is going to be valuable for you. Okay, so a jump float serve is designed to be able to hit the ball flatter or more downward so that you can increase the velocity of your serves. Okay, if you're not jumping, if you're only getting 2, 3, 6 inches above the net on when you jump, it's not really valuable enough for you to move on to a jump float serve in tournament. I'm going to say that with a caveat because anytime we jump and strike a ball, you're increasing the level of your timing, you're increasing your athleticism, and you're getting more jumping reps, which means that your body is getting better at jumping over time. So this is something that you might want to practice and develop, but it's not a serve that everybody should automatically use. It does help you hit the ball flatter or more downward if you're high above the net. But if you're only getting a couple more inches, the benefits that you'll see to this won't be directly in tournament. It'll be a longer stretch of time where you're increasing your athleticism, increasing your coordination, and your timing with a ball in the air. So I'm not saying that everybody needs a jump float serve. Some people don't, or they can be just as lethal standing. So player's choice here. All right, and I'll let this video continue.
Step, toss, left, and trap. Step, toss, left, jump, trap. Practice it on your own. Good luck.
So Lorena just asked, we're going to do a little Q&A here, but why someone should choose a float serve against a jump float serve? Again, if you can jump high enough to jump float serve, and then you can hit that ball at more of a downward or a flatter angle, that allows you to put more miles per hour on your serve. Okay. It also might help the ball drop sooner on the change up serve. Okay. If you're using like the rainbow serve, the high deep serve that we talked about, not really worth it to jump with that. It wouldn't make sense. It really only makes sense for having a steeper short serve and a faster jump float serve if you can add those extra inches. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. It's not a skill that everybody needs. It's not necessarily a skill that everybody should add to your game, but you should definitely add it to your practice, just because, again, it increases overall athleticism. Okay, coordination and timing with your serve. Okay, let me just check my schedule. We are running a little bit deep. We're going to go over just a little bit of how to jump top spin serve. Okay. And then I'm going to share a YouTube video that you should definitely check out. It's a very small part of our Fix Your Arm Swing program. But if you check this video out, you can search it. I just put it into the chat. Okay. It's how to spike a volleyball with power. Secrets you must know from biomechanics expert Isaac Newell. Okay, but instead, right now, I'm going to go with just our basic jump serve video. Okay, and that's going to come right here. Let's see if I can get to it on the back end. All right, jump spike serving, just a quick basic. So a jump spike serve, number one, everybody should practice and learn a jump spike serve, no matter how ugly it is in the beginning, how many times you miss it, okay? You will miss. When you're learning a jump spike serve, you'll miss. It'll be ugly. The ball will land behind you. You'll miss your timing. You have to go through that uncomfortable phase. You have to, because every time you learn to jump spike serve, you're learning how to attack. Throwing a ball high enough where you can take a approach, even if it's a half approach, with a full double arm lift and striking the ball with good arm swing mechanics. You're training two skills at the same time. You're training yourself how to attack on a higher ball, and you're training a serve. If you have never tried, or you just stay away from jump spike serves, start today. Do the jump spike serve, no matter how ugly it is. It will train your body in timing for spikes, arm swing mechanics, and jump mechanics. Okay. So I really, really encourage everybody to learn a jump top spin serve. All right. We're going to get into a very quick tutorial right here, and I'm going to throw it on 1.5 speed. So here we go.
With a jump serve or a jump spin serve, it's important to remember why you are doing the serve. This serve should be used almost as an attack from behind the service line. This serve is used for people who have a lot of power and also accuracy with their attack. The footwork for a jump spin serve is the exact same as an attack. It should feel like you are going up to hit a ball as you would in a game from a setter. The only difference is that you are the one providing the set with your toss. We're going to use that right foot as our timing step. Once again, right foot, left foot, right, left, and then we're making our attack. When we are starting out our serve, I would suggest pointing your body in the direction that you plan on serving. For instance, if I plan on serving the right side player, then I should point at that right side player. If I plan on serving the seam, I should face the seam. And if I plan on serving the left side player, I should face the left side player. This is going to help me a lot with my posture and my toss. Our first step is going to be our right step for right-handed attackers. If you are a left-handed attacker, then you are going to mirror everything that I'm doing. For this first step, we're going to call it a rocker step. If you notice what I'm doing right now, I am rocking back and forth onto my right foot. I start with my right heel on the ground. My right toe is actually pointed towards the sky. Once I make my toss, I am going to rock forward onto that right step. That way my entire foot is covering the ground. Then I am going to use the rest of my steps, just as I would an approach, to put myself in the best position possible to make a strong attack. Normally, my right foot is going to be my timing step. My left foot is going to be my direction step. So if I happen to toss a ball to my right, I'm going to make that step with my right. If I toss it in front of me, I'm going to keep that step in front of me. If I happen to toss to my left, I'm going to use this step to get to my left. With using this direction step, it is now going to allow me to use my last 2 explosive steps to get up in the air as high as I can, creating my contact point to be as high as I can, allowing me to find the trajectory to serve an efficient jump spin serve. It's important to remember once again that once we jump into the air, we want to try to find that bow and arrow form. So make sure you are pulling back that right elbow as far as you can, and then you are completing that throwing motion completely through to where when you are finished, you should feel like you are putting your right hand into your left pocket. Or if you are a left-handed server, your left hand into your right pocket. So we are getting rid of that finishing position that we had from our float serve, and we are allowing our hand to come all the way through. This will allow that ball to have some top spin on it, which is very important when you're jump serving.
Okay, so that that is an extremely quick run through of our jump spike serve. Okay, if you want to learn more about arm swing mechanics, again, we have a full 21-day fix your arm swing program. It comes with exercises, tutorials, and a series of drills that you can do over 21 days to increase your velocity, decrease your pain, and fix your arm swing mechanics. Okay. I've also included the link to one of our best arm swing mechanics videos that's on YouTube for you guys for free. So check out the chat. It's how to spike a volleyball. I think I should be able to show it on the screen. How to spike a volleyball with power. Secrets you must know from biomechanics expert Isaac Newball. Okay. It's a really good video, and it's in depth and it's free and it's out there. So it's a good introduction into our full arm swing mechanics program. Okay. Jump, spike, serve, advantages and disadvantages, right? It's similar to how a fastball works in baseball. If a professional baseball player can only throw 80 miles per hour, people are going to hit them out of the park, right? Like, you should have a good basis of arm swing mechanics, jump, timing, approach mechanics, and some arm speed in order to implement this. The only way to do that, other than our arm swing program, is to get a ton of jump spiking reps and clean up your mobility and clean up your mechanics. Okay. So if you're going to use it in tournament or in competition, you should be ready to rifle. However, if you're at a different place in your career and you're like, you know what, I'm developing my jump serve. Okay, go and use it in the tournament, right? You have to know when your championship matches are, when the ones that are super crucial to you, and when the parts of your season or your career that you're just building your skill set and growing in the game. For me, anytime I was learning a new skill, there are some things that I would do in game and some things that I would do in practice, right? Like I want to prepare it for the match. But then there's also that caveat of, okay, it's time. I've practiced enough. Now I have to get the courage to put this skill into a game. Okay. And that does take a little bit of courage. You have to be able to get over that hump and say, I'm going to jump, spike, serve in a game. Okay. Again, jump, spike, serving, do it now. Start learning it when you practice, start learning it when you warm up. If you're super uncomfortable going from the back line, then just do it from 10 feet off the net. Do it from half court. Learn how to toss a high ball. Take a full approach with a double arm lift with the right footwork, and then hit that ball in. Okay. The same rules apply for a jump, spike, serve. We're aiming for space. So if you're aiming, you don't just go up there and hack and aim at the giant part of the court. Every single serve, you visualize exactly where you want it to land. You visualize the trajectory. You see yourself in your mind performing that skill. Go through your physical and verbal mantra, and then execute the serve. Okay. We should aim the same way we do with our float serves, as we do with our jump float serves, as we do with our jump spike serves. Okay. That's just a really crucial piece to all this, that just because you're jump serving doesn't mean you just aim for a massive space or the entire court. You have to pinpoint exactly where you want it to land. Okay. So that's all I have as far as a presentation. We're going to move to a Q&A here using the chat for anybody who's got any remaining serving questions or any other questions. But here's one way, and the way that we do it at Better at Beach, that you guys can get more involved, and a way that we can help you in your in your career and in all of your playing endeavors. Okay. So what I'm going to show you here is I'm just going to pull up this screen and we're going to go through it. Okay. Share screen. And so this is betteratbeach.com/virtual training. Okay. Right now at the recording of this video, and this might change, we've got 3 plans that you can be on. Okay. One of them is our basic program. The other one is our pro, and the other one is our elite program. Okay. The basic does not come with the community or the weekly meetings. So it includes Beach 101 fundamentals, just like a run through of all of the skills and basics that you need to be good at beach volleyball. It includes our mobility and strength foundations 21-day workout program. So if you just are off an injury, if you're in off season or preseason, or you know that you've got some aches and pains, low back tightness, shoulder tightness, like this is an amazing program for you. I built it so that actually, I built it when I was about to play in the Pottstown Rumble. I had broken my foot, and from the day I got out of my boot and onto one of the most grueling grass tournaments there is, I had 20 days. And I said, I need to find a way to get myself tournament ready. In that short amount of time, you can't get to championship level, right? And if you do, you might over push yourself. So I said, I'm going to design a program that gets me tournament ready and really athletic in 20 days, right? We extended into 21 days, but this is a really good, solid program that you can use to start your strength training and, again, help your body, okay? It also comes with our beach volleyball practice plan super pack, which includes tons of drills that you can do at home and fully built out 2-hour practice plans that all you got to do is open up your phone, open up the app, follow the videos, follow the schedule, and you're set. It's a really good weapon for coaches. I know that a lot of the club coaches that we work with and club directors just use this script, our practice plan super pack, to run all of their classes and all of their trainings. Okay. So we do the program design and you guys just do what you want to do and you just coach. And if you're a player and you have no idea what to do when you show up to a court or how to train, this is the fastest way to know how, right? Then we have our passing and serve receive masterclass, which we are currently, so this is April 23rd, we are currently going through that with our pro members. So that means that we're going through 5 weeks of passing and serve receive. Okay. We actually just wrapped up our live serving course. It's still there. It's still recorded. You can still go through it, but we just completed that serving course, which you saw just a couple of videos from that course. Okay. The basic plan also includes the setting blueprint, which is a 30-day learn how to set with your hands and your platform. It's a 30-day program, and then our attacking masterclass, and then there are new lessons and programs added every month. And if you sign up for the annual plan, then you get a 5% discount on any one of our camps. If you upgrade to the pro, so if you sign up for pro yearly or monthly, okay, again, annual members, if you sign up for annual, you get a 15% discount on any of our training camps, which we're running close to 50 a year right now across the United States. All right. You get to submit your videos. So when you do the drills and when you play matches, you get to submit videos to our community, and then our coaches go in there and they show you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right with your strategy and with your technique. It also comes with weekly coaching calls so that we can actually go more in depth. We do a lot of lessons similar to this, but with a lot more member involvement. Okay. And those weekly coaching calls are just awesome. There's a big group of hungry volleyball players who are striving to improve, and they ask really good questions, and we go through a fresh lesson every single week. And that's where I give your homework or weekly assignments to say, hey, do this drill in your backyard or on a court. Do these workouts, fill out this questionnaire to start building your attacking strategy. Okay. The additional courses included in the pro version are the Ultimate Defender class, the Complete Coach Academy, learning how to coach and best practices, the 10-week vertical jump workout program, our 3 kettlebell for volleyball programs, plus a performance nutrition guide that tells you exactly what to eat and when to eat it for practices and tournaments. It also comes with the one that we mentioned, your Fix Your Arm Swing program. That's a 21-day protocol, and Fix Your Jump mechanics. Most people actually jump incorrectly, and in just a few lessons, we can increase your vertical jump just by fixing your technique as opposed to adding on all of the strength, which comes with the vertical jump program. Okay. And then we have a full mindset course, which is Mastering the Volleyball Mind. We touched on it with your serve routine. But this is just an awesome course that locks your mind in, helps you set goals, helps you control your mind in the game. And then you get access to all of our pro match video analyses so that you can see what the pros are doing, where they're standing, where they're positioning, and why they're doing certain techniques and strategies. And of course, the community where you can post questions and submit your videos anytime. If you want to be one of me or Logan Weber's elite members, okay, that's right now, it's $34.97. I actually only have room for 2 more people for this season. My schedule is loaded up, but it includes 12 one-on-one coaching calls, okay? In season and off-season stat tracking and goal analysis. We will go through all of your matches and your practices together one-on-one, and I'll customize the workout programs for you, any drills, including like opponent scouting. So showing me the people who you want to and need to beat and coming up with a strategy directly catered to those matches and to those opponents. Okay. It's a very intense one-on-one program. If you're not starving to get better, that is not the program for you. If you're decided like now is my time, this is my year, I am going to level up, this is definitely the program for you, but it's intense. There's a lot of hours involved, a lot of homework, and a lot of drills and workouts to do. Okay. So that is akin to you're playing on the Pro Tour or close to it, and we are going through every part of your game together. Included with that $34.97 is any and all camps and classes for 1 year with no extra fees. So all you, after signing up for that one-on-one program with me, is you would just message me and say, hey, I see you got a camp coming up in Tacoma. Can you sign me up for that? And then it's done, right? You just got to get the flights and your hotels, but all of those training camps come with that program. Okay. And then finally, if you just want to sign up for a one-off video analysis, okay, instead of just getting all of the courses, we can run through those video analysis with you. Again, it's me and Logan Weber, who just won the AVP qualifier. So he's in the league and he's got a number of FIVB medals, right? We also do one-on-one private lessons where we are going to do video sessions with you. So if you don't want to get all the courses and the drills and the library and the community, then you could just sign up for a 3-pack, or a 10-pack. Okay. And we'll go through any videos you want to go through. And then you get just to sit down for an hour with somebody who's played on the FIVB AVP and help us fix your game. Yeah. And then we can fix your game. So 2 ways to do that. One of them is betteratbeach.com/virtual training. And the other one is betteratbeach.com/film session. And we also have a number of juniors and parents weapons coming out, from recruiting to college visits, to structuring your path and your schedule to prepare for college. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. So hope you guys join up. I hope you guys got a lot out of this video. If we have any questions, I'm ready to field them now. You can just enter them into the chat. And I see one from SER. If you're serving with the wind at your back, would you recommend serving at the player, hoping that it floats high, or still serve space? If the wind is at my back, your ball doesn't float as much. So if you're using a float serve, it won't float as much when the wind's at your back. So you have to know that it'll be a little bit easier to pass, right? Then we could still definitely serve space, right? We still want to serve locations. A short serve can still work. A fast flat can still work, but you're going to have to take a couple miles. If it's 5 miles per hour wind, then you're going to have to take 5 miles per hour off of your arm speed to be able to execute the same serve and keep it in. One of my favorite serves when the wind is at my back is the high deep rainbow serve. The receiver is then forced to pass, like, let's say a 20-foot ball into the wind. And that usually makes the setter a little less comfortable, because once the receiver has to pass the ball back into the wind, their pass floats more and moves more for the setter. So I really favor the high deep serve in a lot of situations when the wind is at my back. So it's a really good question. Okay. Sarah also asked, what is the most effective short serve? One that is more loopy and drops shorter, or one that dies just over the net but drops back a little bit further? I don't have the stats on what the most effective ones, but I know just as a combination, the fastball changeup, if you pump a few fast float serves in a row, that's tough to do because you and your partner actually need to be on the same page. Like, we are only serving fast flat right now to set up a point later where we use that dead ball or the changeup. Okay. So at a certain time, the changeup is more effective. But if you continue to use the changeup, then they'll get a beat on it and they'll understand that. You could also use the changeup, and then a fastball, right? But again, if it's you and your partner serving, you have to be on the same page of who you're serving, where you're serving them, and what types of float serves or any serves they're not comfortable receiving. Some people can move to a jump spike serve, hit the ball slower, and it be more effective because of how the passers pass it. I went through just a fun tournament with some friends, and these guys were passing nails the entire time, every float serve, short, high, deep, flat, fast. And then I gave them a pretty generic jump spike serve, and it ended up in a pass at the back half of the court. I said, oh, okay, let's continue with this, because it led to one not so great pass. And it turns out that even though I wasn't serving what I consider as well with the jump spike serve, that receiver didn't like it. And it kept leading to passes that went off the net. And so then we were able to get digs, right? In general, your goal from the service line is to create a situation where you can get a dig, not to get an ace. An ace, again, is a bonus. If you notice that one serve generates aces, keep doing it. But if you get a relatively easy ball back from that offense, even if they did jump and spike, do that same serve, right? We're looking for easy balls to get back on defense, and that's our time to kill, right? We're not on offense when we serve. The serve is setting up your defense. And so I want to make sure that that's really clear. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions? You can pop them into the chat. If not, we're going to wrap this up. And I just want to, again, invite you to the virtual training program. You can try the basic membership. You can try the pro membership. And I would love to see you guys at a camp. If you go to betteratbeach.com/camps, we run 3-day camps. Typically, it's 8 hours on Friday, 8 hours on Saturday, and 6 hours on Sunday. That's our typical camp. You can look, we're running them all across the US, and find one that works for you, and visit new cities and make new friends in new places so that you've got couches and beds to sleep on, and you can actually find new partners. A lot of partnerships actually generate from our camps because now you're on the same page. You know what strategies and techniques work, and you've spent 3 days like making friends and training together. So part of the I think the best part of those camps is being able to get volleyball friends all over the country. And it's a really, really fun time. So hope you join us at a camp. If not, I hope to see you in the in our community, in our online community, should you choose to sign up and work more with us. And if you want a video analysis session with me or Logan Weber, you know where to sign up, betteratbeach.com/film session. But that is all from me. If you have any comments, questions, or you just want to learn more, you could always email support@betteratbeach.com, or you could find me, Mark Burik, on Instagram and just shoot me a DM. I'll be happy to hear from you. Yeah. And at the very least, shoot a subscribe over or share this video or give it a like. I hope you guys got a lot out of this 90-minute, 60-minute webinar. Sorry for going overtime. And I hope you guys enjoyed it and got a lot from it. All right. That is it from me and the whole gang at Better at Beach. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the sand.